here in the Bahamas.
We are going to make it right.
If you became a millionaire, would you keep working? You know?
The commander is here.
What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out.
Don't eat. Something got pop your butt.
Yeah. Oh, I can.
Hola! It's Big Rob here from Sin City Crypto. It's the last day of our takeover.
Oh.
Me and David, my co-host here, and I'm going to bid you a farewell today. But we're going to do it in style, and we're going to say farewell to 30,000 as well, because it looks like Bitcoin ain't going back there no more.
You know, on our show, you say, it's your boy, Big Rob. And
on this show, you haven't said that. You're not the boy of BitSquad, or you don't like them,
Here's
or
the
what?
thing. I can't say it's your boy because their boy is Ben.
Ben,
So
okay,
you got
got it.
Yeah.
Out of respect for Ben.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys doing today, man? It's been an absolutely amazing week. We are excited to be here on our last day. And if you didn't like us, well, guess what? Good news, it's our last day. But today we have an exciting show. We're going to talk about Tom Brady still bullish on crypto and Bitcoin. Also, is Gemini joining the ranks of Coinbase and other U.S. exchanges that are exiting the U.S. market? We have Kelly joining us for on-chain metrics. We're going to do some, we asked AI, is ETH a commodity or security? And it actually gave us a clear answer, something our Honorable Gary Gensler, the chair of the SEC, wasn't able to or isn't able to. And then finally, we're going to have a crypto cage match, Gala Games versus ApeCoin. What are we going to pick? And of course, our XRP segment. But first, let's get into what Robin talks about, which is YouTube and Ben and all the fun stuff. Robin?
All right. So taking a look at the YouTube numbers, we are right at where we were yesterday at 1.45 million subscribers. And then looking at the sister channel.
The sister channel.
Yeah, that's what they call, the next channel over. Yeah.
We
Anyways, the Sin City Crypto channel coming in a close second at 8.11 thousand subscribers. So
We getting paid by BitBoy? I don't know about this or what?
hey, man, hopefully. Now, we do have a contest running, which you can always check that out in the description. We'll give you a little more details towards the end of the show. And then we have the Catching Up to Crypto book written by none other than Ben Armstrong. And also,
Let me guess, he was in Las Vegas, right?
he was he's doing his book tour, which he stopped in Las Vegas, a host of other cities as well. And if you haven't had a chance to pick it up, it is available on Amazon as well as all the other major book retailers. So
Yes. Now, you mentioned Bitcoin, and I also want to mention Bitcoin. I want to take a look at the markets. So we have Coin Market Cap here.
Did you say corn market cap?
Coin.
Okay. I know we're in Atlanta, but
Yes. I did have some corn grits yesterday.
oh
Those are
man, them grits
bomb.
were fire.
Dude, the food in Georgia is pretty good. I mean, we're from Vegas, so we're kind of spoiled.
But we went to a restaurant. We were excited about grits, but then we got grits in the appetizer and both of our entrees
Had
and the
grits.
dessert. I was like, okay,
Wait, dessert? Didn't
calm
have
down.
grits. Let's take a look at Coin Market Cap. We have the market cap coming in at $1.18 trillion. That's trillion with a T. 24-hour volume, a smidge over 50 billion. At the height of the bull market and when we saw mass liquidations and when FTX happened and Voyager and Celsius, this was up in the 150 to 200 billion, just to kind of give you some perspective. Bitcoin dominance at 45.8, ETH dominance at 19.4. We are barely holding on to 28K for Bitcoin. We are down 1.8% over the last 24 hours.
Quick question.
What?
At the end of the show, we over or under 28,000?
I think under.
Under by the
Yeah.
end of the show?
Yeah.
Chat, what do you think? Put a 1 in the chat if we hold support at 28 and we don't dip under. Put a 2 in the chat if you think we're going underneath 28 and we'll be in the 27,000 by the end of the show.
What's your vote?
I say 2. I think we're going to go under 28.
Okay. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, 20,000 Bitcoin. This is from Crypto Slate. 20,000 Bitcoin re-enters exchanges following the largest Bitcoin long liquidation event this week. If you've been watching the show all week, we'll cover this, I believe, on Wednesday. And just to take a look at CoinGlass, my apologies. CoinGlass, something I use on our show all the time. So Bitcoin balance on exchanges over the last 24 hours, over 8,100 Bitcoin has been on-ramped to Binance, another 3,000 on Coinbase for a net of almost 9,000 Bitcoin over the last day, hitting exchanges. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that people are looking to sell, but it's likely, correct? You think, why else would you move Bitcoin onto an exchange?
Right. Well, here's the thing. There's probably a decent amount of people out here that did scoop up Bitcoin under 20,000, and perhaps they're hesitant that they think that this little bear market rally might be coming to an end. And if that's a mentality someone has and they're in more of a short-term window, hey, man, I could feel the sentiment that certain people think we might go back down to 25. And so maybe this is a good exit if you're in the short-term mindset. But I don't know. I that is in my bearish kind of perception. I do think that we will be over 30K by the end of the month.
You think we'll be over 30K
So
by the
next
end of the
10
month?
days, yeah. I think we'll get a big rally.
Really?
Mhm.
Based
I think
off
we have a
of
little
just-
sell-off this weekend. I think we get back up to 29 and 30 next week. And then I think we will be back to our gains by the end of the month.
So we've officially flipped red on the monthly for Bitcoin. So we saw a massive rally in January. You saw a gain of, again, this is from CoinGlass. You saw a gain of 39% in the month of January, followed by pretty much break even in February, another 23% in March. April, which has been usually a pretty green month, we are currently in the red. What will we end the month of April in? We'll just keep our eye on it and we'll let you know. Also, this is from CoinDesk. Bitcoin dominance rate runs into familiar resistance, hints at an altcoin season. And I want to share a chart here. This is pretty interesting. So we have this chart here. This is a trading view chart. And in the candles, you have the Bitcoin dominance. And the white line is the altcoin market cap. And I'm going to scroll up just a little bit here so you guys can see the entire thing. Now, anytime, and you see them highlighted here in the yellow, anytime we see the Bitcoin dominance top out around 48%, this seems to be the resistance. We've seen a rally in the altcoin market. Same thing here. Rally, bam, rally. And look at where we are now. Are we going to see a rally in the altcoin markets, Robin?
I think so.
Is this going to play out?
Yeah, I think we, as I mentioned, I think we'll go back up to 30K, and I think we'll consolidate there. We'll trade sideways for quite some time, and in that window is when alts start to rip. At the same time, it's not going to be that decoupling of Bitcoin's dominance that we saw during a bull market run, particularly the last one. I think that there's still going to be hesitancy into pouring into more speculative altcoins. The profits just aren't there. And what we've seen in the past, when Bitcoin's dominance starts to fall, Bitcoin's price was at 30, 40, 50, $60,000. And when that happens, there's a lot of people in profit. There's a lot of traders that hit some big X's on the long positions. And what are they going to do? They're going to degen and they're going to pour those profits into smaller projects. And yes, we've had a move from 16K to where we're at now, 28. But I just don't think that there's enough profits and the portfolios just aren't juicy enough for you to just hammer down on the alts and just make it rain. So
let me ask you this question. So we covered yesterday, there was a huge whale wallet, a Bitcoin wallet that hasn't moved in 10 years, had some movement. We heard about the U.S. government. They sold a crap load of Bitcoin last month, and they said they were going to continue to do so in 4 batches for the remainder of the year. You think those could have any implication on maybe what we're seeing now?
Guy, so that dormant wallet, so the average buy was $600, right?
Yep.
They bought 2,000 or 6,000?
There was 6,000 in that wallet.
6,000. How many of us have purchased 6,000 of a token at a $600 price? So anyways, this person is already somebody that's financially stable, that has a long-term mentality, held for 10 years. At this point, I don't think that they're looking to exit the market. Now, perhaps they are moving wallets to mitigate risk. They're diversifying into smaller wallets. Maybe they want to skim some profits. Now, whether I think they're going to try to dump that, I doubt it. Now, with the government, hey, they're going to liquidate. That's what they do. When it comes to the government, historically, when they have digital assets, particularly Bitcoin, that they want to get rid of, they've auctioned them off in the past. That is starting to change because they know it's a little easier to get rid of those by selling it to exchanges, OTC. And I think that's what they'll do. It will not hit order books. I don't see somebody at from the federal government sitting on Coinbase or crypto.com fulfilling sell orders on their order books. Not going to happen, especially not at the amount they have. They're one of the biggest wallets in the world. And so for that reason, I think they're just going to sell those in chunks to the exchanges OTC.
And for that reason, I'm out. That's what Shark Tank.
That's right.
Now, one last real quick Bitcoin question before we move to alts. There's been chatter about 50K by May. Yes, no, and let me go to this
50K
again.
by May. I've heard that.
Hold on,
by
real
a lot
quick.
of TA
May,
people.
hold on. May historically has been a pretty volatile month. 39% in the green, 18% in the green, 52% in the green, 19% in the red, 52% in the green, 35% in the red, 15% in the red. So May has been a pretty volatile month historically. What are your
To
thoughts?
get there, we'd have to get close to a 50% just on that month, right? You got to go from 28 to 50. And so probably 44% somewhere in there. And it's a big move. But like you said, look in 2019, you moved up 52% in that month. And then I don't know. You think we're good for a 40%? I just don't think we're in that time frame. I think we're too far away from the halving. 50%.
May would put
Just
1 year.
not in 1 month. So what I say is that we're going to be ramping up for the bull market. I think we're due for one more leg down. We did have a big movement in Bitcoin from 16,000 up to 28. We were above 30. I think that we're going to chop sideways. We're going to have a little pullback here and there, and then it's going to be off to the races. I would say 3 months, I think 50K is on the table. I think that's a little bit more realistic, just not quite as much volume as you would see during a bull market run.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about alts. CB stands for crypto bubbles. This is on the daily. We have everything pretty much in the red. Some of the biggest losers is Render Token and XRD. Talked about XRD in a little detail yesterday. It is a layer 1 decentralized DeFi token, and something I'm going to be looking more into, possibly adding to my personal bag. Zilliqa, someone in the green. We have Zilliqa up 7%. Bitcoin Satoshi Value or Satoshi Vision or whatever that is up 4.1%. For the love of God, I don't know why. Caspa and XEC. Now, moving on to our next segment, leading right into our charts. Couple of charts I want to share with you guys. The first one here is going to be Bitcoin. And just so you guys know, if you're wondering what this indicator I'm using is, this is called the Ichimoku Cloud. This is one of my favorite indicators. It's extremely simple. It paints a broad picture. You can look at this chart and know exactly where the momentum is, what trend we're in. Are we in an uptrend, downtrend? And where are the immediate levels of support and resistance? And so what you want to look at for support and resistance is these cloud areas. You take a look at the cloud, we are in red, which signals a downtrend. Obviously, we know the price is trending down as well. Then you have these two lines, red line, blue line. The blue line is our conversion line, and the red line is a baseline. These are all moving averages, and it gives us a broad picture of where we are. I'm taking a look at the candle. We are forming a spinning top here. This is on the 4-hour on Bitcoin. But the good news is it looks like if we are going to consolidate, right, or at least form a bottom here, we're at this consolidation level we had back in earlier this month, April 6th through about April 9th, this 3 days of consolidation right around this 28K level. We also have the visible volume range right here. Tons of volume coming in here. So seemingly, we have a lot of buyers stepping in at this $28,000 level. Moving on to the daily, or actually, so on the 4-hour, I'm like, okay, so this is the fib retracement. Okay, so I took the high here of 30,900, brought it back down to this $29,000 low, and went back up to the high back here at 30,000, and it gave us some levels to look out for to the upside. If we do break this consolidation, what are some levels to immediately look for? 28,500 would be the one fib level. Moving on to the 7-8 level, you're looking at about 28,900, and a more bullish would be the 618 level at 29,200. If we move on to a little more of a macro view as far as Bitcoin on the 1 day, little more bullish as our cloud is still currently green. RSI, nothing really to look at. We're kind of in the middle. But if we're looking, if we expect Bitcoin to continue falling, expect to see Bitcoin fall to support at the top of this cloud level, which depending on if we see a massive drop down over the next, let's say by April 26th, over the next 5 days, looking at 26K as an extremely likely support level for Bitcoin. If we see Bitcoin fall down more towards the beginning of May, you're looking at a more of a bullish $27,200 support level for Bitcoin. and keeping the same indicator on the weekly. Now, people always ask, and we always talk about, well, when do you say we're in a bull market versus a bear market rally? And for me personally, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's when we break above this cloud. When price breaks above this cloud and makes support on top of it, that is when I will say we're not in a bear market rally, we are in a bull market.
What's the time frame on that one?
This one is on the weekly.
Okay.
And if we're looking here, if we go out to June of this year, 31,859. That is when the cloud starts dropping. If we look at end of May, you're looking at 33,800. And if for some reason we rally, just massive rally, and you want to see a bull market in this month, you're looking at 43,000. Not very likely. But when we're trading, when price is in this cloud, this is called the equilibrium zone. You do not want to put trades in while price is trading in this cloud. Just to give you guys some examples of why I think this is so important. So this was back in 2020. We bottomed out about $3,500. You see here, once we broke above the cloud, that is when we had our massive bull market rally from about $9,800 up to 38,000. We retraced and went up to that 60K level. And so this is something I like to keep an eye on. Moving on to ETH. This is on the 4-hour on ETH. Again, this is pretty bearish on the I don't know, 4-hour, call it micro, call it macro. Either way, we should see some immediate resistance at $1,982. Let's just call it 2,000, right? And we know 2,000 is a psychological levels. I was never a fan of psychological levels until I got into crypto. And I understand that psychological levels are extremely important, especially in crypto. So if you are a scalp trader or a swing trader and you're looking to short 2K or a little bit under 2K, $1,980, $1,975, that's where I would personally be looking to short. Going long, though, this seems like a good area to pick ETH up at. I'm going to draw a horizontal line here for you guys just so you can take a look. This $1,859 level, we bounced off here back in earlier this month in April. Again, earlier. So all of April, we've kind of been trading around this level, support, resistance. So this is a key area to look at. And finally, another alt I want to take a look at. This is a little more bullish. This is Polygon Matic. Current price of Polygon Matic, we're sitting at $1.03. Again, psychological level, $1. The cloud has flipped green, which is positive. And another thing that's positive is unless this continues, the conversion line is still above the baseline. The blue is still above the red, which is considered bullish. Also, being at that dollar psychological level, we can see here, I'm gonna draw another horizontal line for you guys to take a look at. Right at this dollar mark, we wicked below, but came right above, support, resistance, consolidating in this area. And we had this massive bounce where we went from $1 to about $1.24. Pair that with amazing volume, plus between $1 and about $1.15. We don't have much volume, so we should blow right past that. And so Polygon Matic, bullish on it long term, but if you're looking for a swing or scalp trade, not financial advice. So with that being said, let's move on. I haven't seen you this quiet in a long time.
I was just observing the charts, man. I'm just enjoying the ride, man.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
You want me to interrupt?
No, that was great.
Okay,
I'm just not used
I'm
to
an
it.
expert at that, man.
We should, yeah, we know. Trust me. Let's move on to some of our biggest headlines of the day. Tom Brady, believe it or not, the man who lost half his family fortune in FTX and crypto, he is still passionate and still bullish about crypto, but less so about a return to the NFL. Tom Brady may no longer have, I'm going to make this a little bigger for you guys, may no longer have laser eyes, but he told the Miami crowd on Thursday that he's still excited about crypto. He said, quote, "I have a digital asset business that I love to be a part of. I'm actually flying out to Los Angeles tonight. We have a board meeting tomorrow." He said he was interested in just understanding where the world is going and where innovation is taking place. Now, if you guys don't know, Tom Brady does have a business that he mentioned earlier in the article, and it's called Autograph. It is a sports and entertainment NFT platform that just raised $170 million, which was co-led by none other than A16Z. Rob, I want to ask you, FTX got a lot of heat after the fact. Well, look at FTX. They hired all these people, Tom Brady, this person, that person. They marketed the crap out of it. Same thing with the crypto.com.
And Brady's getting sued now, too.
And Brady's getting sued. Is this a net positive in that people look at Tom Brady, people outside of our space that aren't in our space every single day? They look at someone like Tom Brady, who's got a big voice, got a lot of influence. Wow, he lost all that money and he's still bullish about crypto. Is that a net positive or is it a net negative?
He is a regular guy, just like me and you when it comes to investing, right? And it comes to picking up crypto. Now, his buys are a lot larger than ours because he has more wealth than the average person, more than I do. And so for me, I take lumps when I was new in the game. Well, you've probably taken lumps. You've probably bought something at the top and sold it at the bottom. You've gotten rug pulled. You've maybe invested in something that went under. You had your tokens on an exchange that no longer offers any services. And so this is part of the game. And you know what? The man, Tom Brady, he's not anybody out of the ordinary when it comes to investing and picking out like ideal crypto projects. And with that said, the man just made a bad decision. He invested in the wrong project. And maybe it wasn't in the same investment that we do where we buy some tokens, but he invested his hard-earned money, his time, and his research into a project that didn't pay out FTX. And just like a lot of us diehards, after you get burned once, you know, a lot of people, they leave our space.
Right.
They say, hey, I lost some money. I bought Bitcoin here. Now it's down here. I bought this meme coin. Now it's nothing. I'm done with
Are you
crypto.
talking about Pepe?
Oh yeah, Pepe is down.
Pepe's down.
So the moral of the story here is that Tom Brady's no different than me and you. He just has
Hold on, man.
He has a larger chip stack than we do.
He's a little different, dude. Just a little bit, you know?
Let me tell you, man.
A little better looking, a little taller, more skill.
Okay.
More money.
I have
but I do
feel
have
like,
one thing he doesn't have,
I
which
feel
is a
like
wife.
I have the Tom Brady.
Damn.
I got the Tom Brady charisma.
Tom Brady has no charisma.
He does, man.
Jay Jose said he also lost his wife. He did.
You know what? Do you think he lost his wife because of crypto? Do you think that was the final like
Nail in the
straw
coffin.
that broke the camel's back? What do you think?
Um,
Because it is kind of coincidental that was at the same time they decided to file for a divorce. She also lost a good amount of money as
Yeah.
well. And
like, what the hell
she
did you
might,
get me
here's the
into?
thing. I bet you she was in the kitchen the whole time while Tom Brady's over there on the PC. She was like, this crypto thing's a bad idea. He was like, I got this. How many Super Bowls does he have? What is it? Like
Are
five?
you appropriating gender roles, Robin, by saying she was in the kitchen because she's a lady?
Yeah.
No, I just picked a room in the
That's
damn
messed up,
house.
bro. I'm
So
kidding.
Unbelievable.
I'm just-
Unbelievable. We're canceled.
I was saying that they was hanging out. She was giving them grief for investing in crypto. And then she was like, I told you. But just like the DJs here in the space, you get burned once, you put your head down, you're a little bit more careful next time. You don't leave the game, you huddle on, do more research. I think that's where we're at. And he's got a very ambitious NFT program where he's going to be selling sports memorabilia as NFTs, which, you know, OpenSea hasn't really cornered that. They do have the Tops that trade on. Who does Tops trade on? That's on Flow. Yeah. And so there is competition in the space, but there hasn't been a clear front runner that has just owned the space and stamped their brand on there. And so I think there is an opportunity for Tom Brady and the Autograph NFT platform to take that market lead when it comes to the sports memorabilia. He has the name. Why not? Who we saw Jay-Z get into the.
You leave Jay-Z out of this.
Hova. Did you say Hova?
Hove. Yeah, that's what
So we saw Jay-Z get into the what was it? The signing the players. What is that called? Agent. Yeah. So he got into the agent game. So out of his realm. So I think NFTs are out of Brady's realm, but he does have the capital, and the man works hard and pretty goal driven. So
as my friend Brian,
and like I said, I'm no different than Tom Brady.
as my friend Brian Maver from the chat said, he lost wife changing money. Bam. Guys, make sure to hit the like button.
Yes.
All we ask of our last day is just hit the like button. Like the video. If you're not subscribed to BitSquad Crypto.
If you don't
subscribe.
like us, it's our last day. So we're just going to hang out.
If you don't like
you can
us, like the
celebrate.
video
You
as
can
well.
celebrate. Ben will be back on Monday, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I don't know his schedule, but he should be back. And then, so you got one more day of us. If you like us, you can always come hang out with us on our show as well.
If you don't like us, hit the like button either way.
That's right.
Let's move on from Tom to Cameron and Tyler.
Mm.
Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Gemini co-founders, of course. Gemini joins Coinbase in offshore expansion, this time in APAC, which is Asia Pacific. Let me make this a little bigger. Gemini plans to expand its presence across Asia Pacific with the appointment of a regional CEO, that person, and the establishment of an engineering center in India. The move is part of the New York domiciled exchange's strategy to grow its international business. Gemini's expansion plans include building out product and engineering teams in India and expanding its business in the country alongside Singapore, where it will focus on growing its customer base. Gemini, which is owned by early Bitcoin billionaires Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, was charged with violating securities laws through their lend program last year. Okay, so India was a little weird to me because India has been very anti-crypto and they've been very vocal about it.
Which is good because if you're anti-crypto, in the same way that the US is not very friendly to crypto, if you can create a platform that operates within the confines of the regulation, there's not so much competition, right? You got to think like Singapore is pretty open to regulation, right? There's not a lot of confines into operating a crypto business in certain parts of the world. But there's tons of competitions. There's like 1,000 exchanges. And so if you're to open something up in India, where it's a little more difficult to get your foot in there and you do it the right way, hey, you're only one of a few competitors there. And so it's easier to get your services out there. So that's
what percentage you put on Gemini actually leaving the U.S.?
I don't think they are, man.
No,
I think this is a threat narrative, a bluff. You
think it's a good play though by Coinbase and Gemini?
I think so. Here's my thoughts on this whole situation. You can throw Gemini, you can throw Coinbase in there. These are companies that operate an internet-based business, right? And so internet is not confined by borders. So as a company grows, it makes sense to logistically move and offer your services to other nations because all they have to do is just type in a HTTP website and that's it. And so with your services, you can offer it to everyone around the world. So Coinbase was going to expand abroad anyways. I think the narrative here is just simply, oh, hey, regulation in the States is tightening up. Look, Coinbase is going to go overseas. I don't think if the regulation wasn't going this direction, they'd be moving overseas anyways. It's a logical business move. I think Gemini's in the same boat and everyone else is. Why operate an internet business and not offer your services to people abroad?
Good point.
And I think that it's just getting the headlines for the simple fact that the media that covers crypto is like, oh, look, they're opening up a base over there in said island. I think it's just narrative driven.
India's not an island, but yes. Let's move on. Staying on regulation, we're talking about the SEC, our favorite Gary Gensler. SEC's brute force for crypto regulation attempt is bad policy, says VC firm Paradigm. Criticisms of the United States Securities and Exchange Commissions are mounting. On April 12th, the Web3 venture capital firm Paradigm published a policy piece. It claimed that Gary Gensler's, quote, attempt to brute force crypto assets that may not even constitute securities into an ill-fitting disclosure framework is bad policy. And this is interesting to me, okay? Pay attention to this one. Paradigm points out the current disclosure policy was developed in the 1930s, long before the internet. It claims current policies are tailor-made for centralized companies issuing securities and that crypto markets are fundamentally different. Ad nauseum, Gary Gensler's answer to the question of it's not clear, there's no clarity, has been Congress painted with a broad brush in 1933 and 1934, and I think this is the best argument that we've gotten against that.
He on the money.
There was no internet.
Yeah, it's on the money. It's
And this entire sector is on the internet.
It's like inventing the Model T Ford and then pulling it with a pack of wolves. Like, look, you created this great technology, and then you're sitting here and trying to apply old.
Say pack of wolves.
Yeah, I'm just saying it makes no sense. It literally don't. Like, it's different technology. Let it do its thing. That's all I got.
You know, it's such a good point. But like, why couldn't anyone else bring this up in Congress, right?
No.
What would he have said to that? Would have been like, well, Chair Gensler, in the 1930s, there was no internet, and this entire sector needs the internet. Needs it. What would you say to that? Right? Back in the 30s, you can buy stocks and bonds and whatever the case may be. You didn't need the internet. You cannot buy crypto without the internet.
Here's an interesting take
Bitcoin ATM.
from the congressional hearings where Gary Gensler was testifying. They brought up several times that he's proposed more rule changes in the last, I think it was
2 years.
It was 2 years.
He's averaging 2 a month.
2 a month with, I think he's on track for 500 rule changes. And he has changed 0 rules for crypto. So he's not so he's willing to change the 1930s laws for traditional investment vehicles. However, he's not willing to even adjust a single rule, not one, for cryptocurrencies. It just speaks of blind ignorance. The fact that he won't even talk
Ignorance,
about
or
changing.
he's got a score to settle with crypto. I think he's got a score to settle.
He's got a high score right now, man.
I'm telling you.
He does.
I'm telling you, that's not a good thing. It's not bullish. I'm telling you, man. Someone made fun of him at MIT. A crypto bro just laughed at him. He was embarrassed. He's like, I'm going to get you back, and here we are today. Let's move on. So this is an interesting one. Proof of reserves bill passes Texas House of Representatives. Now, proof of reserves became a huge hot topic, conversation point after FTX, or was it after FTX went under? After FTX went under.
Yeah.
CZ led the charge and said, we need proof of reserves. And then auditors said, we don't want to do proof of reserves for you. So they left. But
Those proof of reserves were whack, though.
in the iteration they had, yes.
Yeah.
But the Texas House of Representatives just approved a bill that would require crypto exchanges to maintain reserves, quote, in an amount sufficient to fulfill all obligations to customers on April 20th, yesterday. This could become law by September 1st. Digital asset providers that serve more than 500 customers in Texas and have at least $10 million of customer funds would be restricted from commingling those customer funds with any other type of operational capital and using customer funds for any other transaction besides the original transaction demanded by the customer. So no rehypothecating of funds, which is what the banks do.
This is good. However, the only thing is when you just figure you circumvent this by moving to another state, I feel like this should be on a federal level, right? I mean, but the thing is the Fed is not, the federal government, Congress is not.
Good luck with that.
They're not making any legislation in this direction. So I think this is a good step, and you can lead by example. You can say, hey, look what they did in Texas. However, on a realistic implementing it in an effective way, if it is damaging to your business model and you want to rehypothecate, I feel like it's going to be an easy move. Like, let's just go to Arizona. It's a little easier there to make money off of our stables.
The article also real quick states that they have to have all money available for immediate withdrawals, and they have to submit a report to the state banking department within 90 days of the end of each fiscal year. Now, banks, we know, operate on something called fractional reserve banking. And that fraction has been 0 since 2020.
Yeah, that's not.
So the way
0 is not a fraction.
So
you cannot say how much of this pie is here when somebody ate the whole damn thing. It's just a plate. It's empty. That's not a fraction.
there might be
It's
crumbs.
gone.
There's crumbs.
There's no crumbs. It's all gone.
The point I'm trying to make is the way banks make money is they take your deposits and they lend them out and they make money. That's how banks stay operational. That's how they can give you $0 checking account if you direct deposit, blah, 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 blah. Crypto exchanges, though, if they can't rehypothecate your funds to make money, they have to hold all the money in their account. I'm sorry, but, we had on ATB yesterday, I think someone on there complained about high fees Coinbase charges. Well, get used to it. Because these exchanges, they have overhead. It's a liability for them to hold your money on their exchange because if something happens, they're liable, right? So You're going to get higher spreads on your buys, and you're going to pay more fees and trading fees.
The one concern I think this is a net positive. I think it's a great bill. I think that you should hold customer funds one-to-one. However, the business model when it comes to stable coins, at least by the issuers, more so than the exchanges, but the exchanges also practice this, is to take stable coins and hold those in 90-day treasury bills to earn a what's the return on a treasury bill right now? On the 90-day.
The T-bill, 90-day T-bill, I want to say it's...
Either way, you're getting over 2% return. I'm not sure what the exact interest rate is right now. And so it's advantageous for them if they don't feel like majority of the stable coins are going to move.
5%.
5%.
Damn.
That is annually.
Damn.
You don't get paid that out in 90 days. But still, you're getting a 5% return. So they'll just take 20%, 40%, 60% of the stable coins they have and then lock it up in T-bills. That's how they make money. That's why certain exchanges were able to offer 0% trading fees, because they're making a lot of money off of stable coins. And they're doing it in the legacy finance way of staking. Not staking, but if for us in our world, something that's a little bit more comparable to staking would be to buy 90-day treasury bills. Basically, you're locking up dollars for said time. But here's the thing, you can also sell your 90-day treasury bills early if you need to. So it's not like they're locked up for 90 days. You can't get them out. You have to pay a little penalty to remove early. And that's what we saw with SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank, but they had long maturity bonds that they sold at a massive,
like 2 years, 4-year notes. It was ridiculous.
And they were selling those for about 60 to 70% of their value. So
they got wrecked. They were getting
this
wrecked.
huge, man. So not so much risk in crypto. So I would like to see a bill, stablecoin bills, still keep open. Still keep an exchange and the issuer open to making money off of locking up in treasury bills. I think that's an acceptable way of earning passive income on stablecoins that aren't actively being used. But
Coastal Divide said FDIC for crypto. Now,
I could see it for stable coins.
we see it coming in DeFi, right? We see DeFi and insurance. I brought this up months ago. Insurance for people's crypto, insurance on companies, right? In the world of insurance, I used to sell life insurance and health insurance. You have the insurance company, let's just say nationwide. But what happens when they go under? Well, they have a reinsurance company, one of the top global banks. And so there's always a bank big enough to insure, whether it's Coinbase, who has $10 billion of customer funds, or Binance, who has 50 billion, whatever the number is that something we can see moving forward? Is that something you would like to see moving forward? In the chat, put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no.
What is the number?
Would you like to have insurance on your crypto funds like FDIC for your bank?
So a
crypto funds?
government-backed insurance on crypto, 1 for yes?
Or maybe it's an exchange that offers insurance.
Okay, I'll say this. I would like to see government-backed insurance on stable coins. And then you would have to pass a certain criteria, the criteria being that you're holding the reserves, you're meeting a reserve criteria. Then why not? If a stable coin is meeting the criteria in the same way that we're talking about this article, hey, we have 90% of assets or liquid, whatever it is, or maybe 100%. You don't have anything longer locked up than 90 days on a treasury bonds. Sure, absolutely. You know what? If they're getting audited and that's transparent, there should be very little to no risk for the federal government to give you the peace of mind by backing that up. I don't think you could do that on anything outside of a stable coin because of the volatility of the market. But I think with stable coins, that is something I would like to see.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. The tweeters. Elon Musk has ruffled feathers. He's launched rockets, and he's pissed a lot of people off. And some of those people we're going to talk about here as Ripple, FTX, and Tezos leaders are affected by Twitter Blue's checkmark removals. Now, if you're not familiar, Elon Musk came out and said, if you ain't paying me $8, you ain't getting a checkmark. And so yesterday was the last day, April 20th.
And the crybabies came out.
All legacy checkmarks were gone. So you had to pay $8 if you wanted to. Now, a number of crypto leaders appear to have lost their checkmark. One was Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of CEO of Ripple. Others include Tezos co-creator Kathleen Breitman and Eric Voorhees. Also, Sam Bankman-Fried. He doesn't have $8 to pay, so he lost his checkmark. And someone said, I'm not going to pay $8 a month to prove who I am. Now, some people who did pay.
These are the same people that are stealing their like sister or like ex-boyfriend's Netflix account. Like, just pay the $8. Stop it. It's not that serious.
Yeah. Well, some people who are paying the $8 and not that serious: Brian Armstrong, CZ, Jesse Powell, and Vitalik Buterin. And then we have this. Now, some people freaking out. Oh my God, my check mark's gone. One person even went as far as to say this. This is Julie Melner. Elon thinks this is a funny joke talking about removing check marks. As a former verified account, and I'll show you how many followers she has. As a former verified account who lost their blue check mark, I know how dangerous this really is. People are going to die because they don't have check marks. And let's see who they have here. How many followers? 8,700 followers. Wow. Robin, are people going to die if there's no check mark?
If you take my check mark away, I don't think I'll make it. I'm just letting you know.
Man, you think people are overreacting to this, or is this something serious? Because all jokes aside, the check mark thing, there's so many imposters out there. If I'm looking for Sin City Crypto, how do I know what's the real one? How do I know what's the fake one?
It makes the platform operate with less bots, and it removes the noise of knowing if the person you're talking to is real or not. And, you know, you can filter your messages off and on by the check mark. And so if you have an inbox spammed full of random messages, you can simply just enable a filter where you have only check mark messages. It clears the noise, and you can't just create 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 bots and also pay $8 per bot. Is just financially not worth it. So I think cleaning up the system by paying a few dollars, I think, is acceptable.
Maybe Elon's hurting for money and he's at $8. But he did pick up the tab for Stephen King and LeBron James. So he's paying their $8 for them to be verified. Yeah, I believe it or not.
That's very generous of him.
Guys, before we move on to our next segment, I'm getting a phone call here. Oh, yes. Oh, it was Steak, the sponsor of our channel, Steak. They got something to tell you, and let's hear what they have to say. Thank you so much. Make sure to check out Steak, guys. Robin, talking about crypto Twitter, man. I want to ask you, what do you identify as?
Oh, God. Can we not do this?
Okay. Well, what if I told you there is a person who identifies as a dog?
Okay.
I believe it.
You believe it? Well, maybe
someone identifies as a dog. Is it a dog?
For the people, no, it's not a dog.
Was it not born a dog?
No. For the people that don't believe it, let's show them some evidence here.
Easy.
Drew, please.
All right.
So we have, believe it or not, this is not a human being. Sorry, this is not a dog. This is actually a human being who identifies as a dog.
I thought that was a real dog.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why you thought that was a real dog, because guess how much money this person spent on this outfit?
$50.
$15,000. 15 grand.
You could have bought a Bitcoin.
$15,000 for the realistic dog.
Wow.
So when he ordered that, I bet you, because that thing probably took a few months to buy. When he bought that, when he put the order in, I bet you Bitcoin was around 16K. You factor in taxes. I'm just saying, you could become a dog or you could get a Bitcoin. You could become a whole coiner or you could become a dog. Like,
that's a tough call. I don't know what to choose there.
Yeah, me neither. Moving right along, we have our favorite analyst, Jim Cramer. The man just spits hot fire. And he said, we have this meme here pulled up. He said, quote, "Those banking on a recession don't have much evidence. I don't see it coming. Guys, we are screwed."
We're done.
We're done. I hope all the bills are paid here at Hit Network and BitBoy Studio, because we are. And when he says recession, I'm saying, all right, now we're going into a depression.
Yeah.
I've
could
never
be a good thing for crypto.
I've never met a man who could be so wrong. Literally, the day something he tweets goes wrong. So this is interesting news now. Whether it's bullish or bearish, we'll let you be the judge. Telegram adopts Bitcoin. So just this quick video. There's no audio to this, but through the Telegram app, you're able to exchange your ton coin for stable. Now you can exchange it for Bitcoin. Robin, are you bullish or bearish on?
So now you can get your Bitcoin scam straight from your wallet instead of going to a stable coin.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Telegram is a...
if you sell your Bitcoin for ton coin,
That's a mistake.
Well, no, you're selling your ton coin for Bitcoin.
you can do it vice versa
both,
as well. Yeah. You know what? Exit your ton coin and go into Bitcoin.
Sounds weird.
Sounds really weird.
Yeah. I still don't trust it.
Sounds like a mistake.
It's just like everything on Telegram that involves crypto. It just feels so dirty.
I decided to launch a Sin City Crypto Telegram channel, and after 2 days, I was like, no, screw this. I can't. There's so many scammers, and oh my
dad
God.
called me. He's like, did you message me on Telegram? I'm like, no, I did not.
Guys, that'll do it for our Crypto Twitter Minute. Let's move on to our very next segment, On-Chain Metrics, with none other than Kelly Kellum.
Let's get him going here.
Let's get Kelly going.
Is he ready?
He's ready. He's
Okay.
in the wings.
Let's
check him out.
Let's bring him out of the wings and into the stream.
Ooh. Oh, Kelly, your sound's off. Let's see here. Can't get him.
Any sound?
Nope, nothing coming over.
Kelly, you muted?
Might be muted.
Better now?
There it is.
There we go.
Hey.
Not sure what happened. I guess the markets are messing with me. Maybe Jim Cramer put out a positive tweet about the microphone. I don't know.
Jim Cramer.
Jim Cramer, bullish on microphones. Yes.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy with Jim Cramer? I would hate to be him and have there's such an awareness within the markets now that if he posts something positive, he even posted a positive note about the SpaceX launch yesterday, and then the spaceship blew up.
Did
then
he
he
really?
posted, was it last week? He posted something positive about Boeing. Boeing is a buy, and then it was like 3 hours later, they had all these issues with the 737 and had to recall a bunch of stuff. It's like every single thing that he does, is he really just absolutely a numbskull, or is he just a paid shill, just a paid narrative? Is he just another Gary Gensler out there? I don't know.
Right.
But
that rocket, that thing was something to watch, man. Even though it did end in a fiery
16 million,
explosion, but
16 million pounds of thrust.
But man, yeah, the thing was epic to watch take off. All right, so what do you got for us?
Well, let's talk about what's going on in the markets. Everybody wants to know, is this pullback going to be a crash? We had these large bullish candles. It's really sort of, I got to reconnect this. There we go. These large bullish candles that we had, these movements. And, we get this small correction here and people are losing their minds and they're fearful. If we're zoomed out here on the daily, we can see we have this trend line coming all the way back to September 2022, September 17th. That's tops, rejection. It's also somewhat acted as support here. And we're well within the same region that we've been with this large impulse that we had up into a known territory. Now, I'm going to support this with some on-chain data, but what I wanted to point out here is on this pullback that we have right here, we have this massive, basically downward spike here on the relative extrema, showing that this is unhealthy movement. There's not really the bear narrative that really would healthily support this movement downward and make you assume or plan for even further downside would be as if these bars were within this cloud. And you can see each time, I could do option V, each time that these bars are to the downside here has been marking of massive, basically slingshot to the upside. So is this going to happen again right here? I'm not entirely sure, because I think it would be healthier if price action did come down a little bit lower, potentially even testing this 25 to 25.5 level because of this massive sort of zone that we broke out of. So if we were able to pull back down to this level, that would be very healthy. Now, looking at the on-chain data. Some people don't like on-chain. You don't understand it. On-chain data allows you to look at the behavior of all kinds of different cohorts of people, long-term holders, short-term holders, large wallets, small wallets. You get to see what the different cohorts of people are doing at different times. For instance, long-term holder position change. This is when they're closing their positions, they're selling. Now look at this. They're selling into the strength of this bull run, whereas short-term holders, look at this, basically buying into a top. Not smart movement. We want to do what long-term holders do. We want to do what smart money does. Now, the reason why I bring this up is if we zoom into where we're at right here, short-term holders are being fudded out of their positions right here. Whereas this is something bullish as to what we're talking about with where price action could go right now. Long-term holders have been buying this dip. So this gives me a little bit more incentive to lean towards that narrative that this may be a washout to the upside, clearing out the shorts that were right here. Now a washout to the downside, clearing out the longs, having a healthier market with not so many over leveraged positions, and having more smarter investments taking place at this level. Could we get a further dip? Sure, but for me, I'm looking at this like the 4-year cycle, where we're at within that 4-year cycle, and looking for any sort of drops at these levels. I have targets where I'm buying at this region. I have another target here at this region. And the reason why I'm potentially kind of a line in the sand for this trend as it is right now, this 23,500 level, I'm really looking at as I really want this to hold, because if we look at, this is a on-chain metric that I created about 2 years ago that now Looknode is sharing for free. They've got a lot of free on-chain metrics you can use over here at looknode.com. But all these bands are Fibonacci extensions of the realized price. And so what we can see here is we dipped all the way down here into this basically generational buy all the way back here. We didn't quite get there on the next two runs, but we did get down into this capitulation zone, the capitulation hope zone. Also right here after the FTX collapse, capitulation hope zone. But one of the most important metrics I'm looking at is this right here, this line that you see flashing. This is the short-term holder price. And we can see that once we've broken above the short-term holder realized price, this has basically been support up the entire bull trend. Now, we've already broken down and tested this. And so if we were to zoom in on this zone, if we were to break all the way down here, as of April 19th, that was 23,550, 560. So 2 days later, it's probably up about 23,680 or so now. This is a very important level. And now we can see, even if we were to touch all the way back to this level, this would still give us a lower high. Now, the next thing I want to show is, if we zoom out on this, there's more bands on this, but I have this just primarily to show a strong bull market. Once we break through this bull floor band, which is basically, once you lose it, you're seeing that you're in a bear market. Once we broke above it and we're above all these bands, that's when we're getting the very strong bullish price action. Well, back here in 2015, we butt our head up against it and then basically traded sideways in a small range for a while before we truly broke out. We're in a similar sort of situation right now where we've butted our head up against it. Could we get this 2019 move? Absolutely, we could. I think it is. It is. I would say about 60% possible that we're on push up to about $45,000, $48,000. There's a lot of economic sort of pressures right now, so I'm playing it a little more safely, thinking that even if we peek our head above it, it's not going to be, I don't think we're going to get this strong run up to that $50,000 level like some people would like. I'm thinking that we are going to get a little bit more of a sideways range in this area, wash a lot of people out, and then have a super explosive bull market in 2024. Now, before I go, I just want to shout out, everybody's been waiting on it. These are a bunch of the new courses that are coming to BitLab Academy, Blockchain 101, Bitcoin 101, self-custody, all these, all with this new update that's coming out here in a matter of days. That's why I'm in Atlanta right now, so we can get all this launched. It's getting there. I'm so excited to share all this with you guys. And now that's all I got for you. I can just bring it right back to you. I hope everybody just practice risks. If we get up to $40,000, great, but set your targets, take some profits so you can redistribute that or reaccumulate that capital at a lower price when we do get the inevitable pullback pre-halving.
All right. Well, That's some great insight. I know right now that we've been inundated with nothing but FUD that this exchange is leaving and this exchange is leaving. And the government hates crypto. And it's just a stark reminder that this is a narrative that we continually hear in the bear market cycle after cycle. This is where we're at. Bitcoin and crypto will come out of this. And you take a look at charts like this just to verify and just to validate that this is the best time to buy. This is the best time to enter the market. You don't want to get in when prices are reaching their all-time highs. And so for that, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. And looking forward to checking
No, I
out
appreciate it.
BitLab Academy's new offering. So,
And everybody in the chat, throw a 1 in chat in appreciation for Sin City Crypto coming down and holding it down here at BitBoy Crypto. You've done a great job this week. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you.
yeah, same here, man. Pleasure's all ours. So, thank you,
Man.
all right. So that was great, man. Now, there's a tool I like to use.
What is that?
It's Chat GPT.
That's your
That
favorite.
brings us right to our next AI segment. And
What are you up to now?
sometimes when you get unsure answers and you want to hear the truth, well, I don't go to Truth GPT because that's not out yet. That's Elon's AI service, but Chat GPT. So I asked here, would you classify Ethereum as a security or a commodity?
Ooh,
I want to know because we're so unsure. Gary Gensler won't give us an answer.
he won't.
And in this extremely long answer here, I'm in AI language as my last update.
Blah, blah,
In
blah.
September 2021, Ethereum was generally considered a commodity, not security. I didn't want to read all this. I said, hey, if you had to pick one or the other, give me a one-word answer, security or commodity. Boom! It's a commodity.
That's it.
That's it.
Bull
Right
market
there.
confirmed.
Look at that. Bull market confirmed. There it is. So,
That's funny.
right?
That is so funny that a freaking AI language model can tell us.
But you ask Gary Gensler, and he's all like, well,
Yeah.
the investing public, large group, take some cattle. I'm like,
Well,
what?
let me tell you guys something. If Robin was a representative in the House and he was on that committee, this man would have done this live against Gary Gensler. He would have been like, oh, you don't want to label it? How is an AI model saying it's a commodity and you are the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission? You can't give us a clear answer.
That's right. Also, I wanted to see if we can get the age-old crypto answer here. And so I asked, who are the top 5 most likely candidates for Satoshi Nakamoto?
Ooh.
And then gave me a longer answer. I'm like, hey, you got to.
What are those names? Hold on.
You
What are
got
those
to
names?
simplify it. So
Okay.
I said simplify in list format. And here we go. Dorian Nakamoto. If you're
Okay.
not familiar who Dorian Nakamoto is, it is the meme himself of Satoshi.
It's a guy
The gentleman with the crazy hair and the thick Coke bottle glasses. Nick Szabo, Hal Finney, who I
think
lean
it's
this
Hal.
direction. Craig Wright.
Hell
and
no.
Elon Musk is on the top 5 list.
Stop.
He is. And so, of course, I needed to prod. Why the hell did you pick Elon Musk? Why is he in here? I said, what evidence points to Elon Musk? Give me some reasons. And so Elon Musk has a background in computer science and programming, which are skills useful in creating Bitcoin. Musk has publicly commented on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in the past and has made several jokes about being Satoshi Nakamoto. He is also rich enough to not really care about unlocking his Bitcoin if
True.
he has it. Also, his sale. Okay, so then real quick. Also, he's associated with innovative payment technologies such as PayPal. So he has a background in digital currencies as well.
Ooh.
And then I think the nail in the coffin, well, there's one other point here, but the nail in the coffin for me is the fact that he sold PayPal. And before he started Tesla, in that time window, he sold PayPal. He had like a 1 to 2 year grace period before he launched Tesla. What grace period was that? 2008 to 2009.
Stop it.
When did the white paper get written?
Stop it.
Just saying. And then on top of that, speaking of white paper, some have pointed out similarities between Elon Musk's writing style and the writing style used in the white paper. Realistically speaking,
Okay.
are we on to something? Is it possible?
No.
David.
Look,
What does the chat think? 1 if you think Elon is Satoshi. Put a 2 if get out of Atlanta and go back home.
You might get more twos because, it's interesting to me, the fact that he does have enough money to where he wouldn't really need to, but would he have touched that money to buy Twitter? That's my thing, because he had to sell some stock and raise some money, and would he have just been like, all right, I'll just sell some of this Bitcoin? I don't know. Also, if he really was a creator of Bitcoin, would he have, flipped on the whole Tesla thing, right? Tesla buying Bitcoin, and oh no, we're not taking Bitcoin, or Tesla's taking Bitcoin. Oh no, never mind, we're not taking Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm in the Hal Finney camp.
Me and Chat GPT on our island by ourselves because there is nothing but 2s in this chat.
Really? So you think Elon is it? No.
I think, you know what? I will say this. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say there's about a 15% likelihood in Big Rob's brain that he is Satoshi.
Someone said, Amon said Steve Jobs.
I'm telling you, he could sit on that secret, man. He could sit on that and be like,
what about Steve Jobs?
Little do y'all know.
What about Steve Jobs?
I don't think so.
I think it's Hal Finney. I really do.
And then, so one last question. I asked ChatGPT, this was an interesting one. Are you able to code a blockchain game on the Ethereum network for us? Now, it can't directly code it for you, but it can provide you with the code, which is pretty much the same thing. And so it gave us here a step-by-step rundown on learning the basics of blockchain and Ethereum, understanding how that works in smart contracts, learn Solidity, which is the programming language. It can give you all, so it basically gave you the bullet points on how to create your own blockchain game on Ethereum. And then it goes further to say, I will help you with each bullet point to get there. And then it can help you install the necessary tools, design the game, write the smart contracts, test the smart contracts, something Solana's not known for. Wow. And then also, you got to develop a front end, develop the game, and it will also help promote and maintain your game.
It will help promote the game.
There you go.
Can it help promote our channel?
That's a good deal.
So,
could it help promote Sin City Crypto?
Possibly.
Absolutely.
I'm happy you brought up blockchain gaming because that leads us right into our very next segment, Crypto Cage Match, where our focus is blockchain gaming, metaverse, Web3, and the 2 coins we're throwing into the cage is none other than ApeCoin and Gala Games. ApeCoin and Gala. Let's take a look at some real quick numbers, some technicals on these 2 coins. Let's start with ApeCoin. Sitting at $4. So all-time high was 7.4 billion in market cap. Currently sitting at 1.4. So we're about a 6x away. Circulating supply to total supply ratio is not good. 36.86% with a total supply of 1 billion ape tokens. We see here it's been around since March of 2022. It's had more red months than it has had green months, but to be fair, that has been through the bear market. Taking a look at Gala Games, on the other hand, sitting at 4 cents. All-time high market cap was $6.1 billion, and it's currently sitting at $3.1 billion, or $311 million. So it's about a 20x away, okay? But look at this, 19% circulating to total supply ratio. That is not good. So you want to talk about token inflation? And Gala, who's been around since 2021, has had some massive months. 300% month in the green, 500% month in the green. This is back in 2021. Now, Robin, you got to pick one, right? Throw them in the cage. Who wins, ApeCoin or Gala Games?
Oh, man.
Done.
I would like to say this would be a close match, but it'd be like Conor McGregor in his early days. It would be an easy win. And I'm going to go with Gala Games.
Really?
I'm not a fan of ApeCoin.
You're picking Gala Games over the #1 NFT brand.
NFT,
you can argue.
You named it. You named it.
You can argue
Web3
NFT brand.
Stay in your lane. They are an NFT. They have beautiful artwork.
It's Web3.
They have. I get it. I understand. They airdropped a token to their. Here's what kind of discourages me about ApeCoin, okay, is that they came out with their NFT line, the Bored Apes, and then from there moving forward, all they've done is incentivized the holders to keep their original artwork by giving them free stuff.
What's wrong with
and
that?
Airdrops.
What's wrong with that?
Because they're not creating any real utility. And so
They're creating a metaverse. They're creating a game.
Yeah. Have you
They're
seen
creating money.
I will get to those. But I will say that they came out with Bored Ape, and then you were incentivized to hold it because you get your Mutant Ape. Then you get your Kennel Club. And then, hey, we're going to have an airdrop. And then the airdrop comes out, and then we're going to have the metaverse. And then we're going to have the Dookie Dash. And then you're going to have
You say
whatever
Dookie
it
Dash?
is. Yeah. And
That's a sick game.
The incentive for their whole ecosystem is simply to hold it to get the next free thing. But that's going to dry up soon. At some point, you're going to run out of stuff to give away.
Not
And
true.
at some point, you got to create the metaverse, which we know is not an easy task. You got to create a good game, which is not an easy task. And so I think they're running out of ammunition.
Are you fading Dookie Dash?
Hell
Dookie
yeah.
Dash is sick, bro.
Have you seen Dookie Dash?
I have. It's like Crash Bandicoot.
Okay, well, you know what? I actually have a Dookie Dash here. Well, take a look at this. This
You're not
hot
talking
mess
about your
right
underwear,
here.
are you?
So you have. Here's the thing. Like, tell me this game doesn't look like. Let me rewind. This game looks like something you would download on an iPhone. It's like one of those
that's
run
Crash
games.
Bandicoot, man.
Dude, I mean,
That's sick.
would you pay more than $1.99 on an iPhone for this game? Just
probably pay-
replace the monkey with a groundhog. Now, would you
Groundhog?
would you pay more than $1.99 for that game? But yet you're incentivized to spend thousands of dollars, being one of the top holders, to get a chance to play a $1.99, perhaps free with an ad, type of game that these people are holding tens of thousands of dollars to get access to. And I have a feeling that the metaverse is going to be a flop. And then also, if we're going to talk about quality games, and we're going to talk about Gala games, hey, you know what? You have a token that provides a real utility and an ecosystem of a library of games. You have Spider Tanks, you have Townstar, and I know Ben's not a big fan of
You're going to get a phone call from Ben.
but your boy right here is.
How dare you talk about Gala and positive?
And so you got Mirandus, Mirandus is shaping up to be a really cool game as well. Walking Dead. Now this franchise is kind of on the way out anyways, but pretty fun. Played the beta version of that, and Grit. And so that way you got one of these battle royale style games, and what's the name of that game? The Western game that they have?
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption. And
That's a
kind of
good one.
style. So
That's a good one.
yeah, so for that reason, I'm all in on Gala. And not to mention, one last caveat, ApeCoin's pretty high on the market cap, less room to run. I think that Gala, being outside the top 100, probably gonna...
Give me one positive about ApeCoin.
I got none.
None?
I got none.
Not a single
I got none.
positive.
Maybe it's a good coin to short. I'll put it that way.
Wow. Guys in the chat, are you picking Gala or are you picking ApeCoin to win? Let us know in the chat. While you're doing that, before we move on to our last segment brought to you by Steak, we're gonna, Robin, just you take this one.
All right, so we are rounding out our time here in Atlanta. Had a lot of fun with you. Everyone here at BitBoy Studio has been extremely accommodating. Anyways, we want to incentivize you guys to come join us, and we have a giveaway going on. And in the description, you'll have a link to it. We only have 139 entries. And so we're giving away $300 worth of gift cards, 12 of them to be exact, all for $25. And then you can go pick yourself up a shirt, or you can take a look at our merch store, which has other items as well. And so you have our patented Ola. There's some other, some gear, flip-flops, backpacks, things of that nature.
What if they don't like Sin City Crypto?
Well, you also have other stuff in here as well. So it's not just our merch store has our segment, but you also have some Bitcoin.
Is there an
general stuff.
XRP segment?
I think there is. I don't know where it would be, but
Rocco's a big XRP guy.
Army. Yeah, that's gonna go right to our next segment as well. But cool. And then as a part of our farewell tour, I will also we put something together for you, a little sneak peek into Sin City Crypto's channel, and so we made a little short video for you. So check it out.
Let's push it.
We're in the they fight you stage. And if we don't come together and fight back, we have no chance.
And I realized instead of throwing my money randomly at strippers that return nothing, I now throw it at random crypto projects that also return nothing.
Wow.
I'm telling you, somebody's going to kick that thing in front of the train, and then as it's falling down, be like, I'm snitching. Stablecoins ain't going nowhere. You know
I'm
what?
not saying they're going anywhere.
If I don't have a job and I trade for a living,
What better way to solve Twitter than Bitcoin? What better way to solve monetary policy than Bitcoin?
If we don't raise the debt ceiling, we're going to run out of money by June.
you don't ever put yourself out there, take on some risk, and take on some challenge. You're never going to do anything great. Are you picking up the new Solana phone? We all have our own personal cell phone. So our first company phone, we're going all in on Solana.
We're doing it.
There it was.
There it is.
So a sneak peek of what our regular show looks like. We've been simulcasting our show with Blockchain Basement this week, but we go back to Vegas on Monday. We're back to our OG show. So if you like what you saw, little snippets, come check us out. Now, to move on to what you've been waiting for, your XRP segment brought to you by channel sponsor Stake. And what news do we have for you today? We have news from Bitcoinist. Ripple versus SEC court update. Will the ruling come next week? Pressure on the United States Southern District Court of New York Judge Annalisa Torres has probably never been higher than it is currently the case. XRP community attorney John Deaton said in a recent update, quote, I doubt very seriously that Judge Torres has ever felt the pressure that she's feeling right now. And he raised the bar even higher, saying, this decision is as big as a decision this judge has ever faced.
No pressure.
Think about what other decision is as big as this decision when it comes to global trade and finance in modern history. This is the most significant no-fraud SEC enforcement action since 1946. If the ruling goes against Ripple, she knows that she is dealing with a conservative court, meaning I'm assuming she's speaking about the Supreme Court because that's what Ripple would do. And if the ruling goes for Ripple, she will have to justify it to all. Do you agree that this is the biggest case that this judge has ever seen?
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know what her resume looks like, but I mean, in the finance sector, outside of perhaps some court cases that looked at the banking collapse, I think since that era, I mean, there hasn't really been any giant headlines when it comes to finance and the SEC and the regulatory system. And we're seeing that innovation is leaving the US and going abroad. I do think that a large part of this is FUD, but it is realistic. We go to conventions, me and David and Sin City Crypto, we talk to a lot of companies, and there's always an international presence at all of these conventions. And they say the same thing, that they don't operate here in the States because of the regulatory uncertainty. And for that reason, we're missing out on the boat. And XRP, Ripple Labs, this court case can set this straight. It can set it right, and it can remove the ability of the SEC to simply deem anything they like to as a security. There's a lot of weight on the shoulders of the judge here, and there is so much bullish momentum that will come from the positive judgment in Ripple's favor, and the evidence has been pointing that way. And so I think it's only inevitable. Hopefully this happens next week. I don't know if that's the timeline, but that's what the whispers are saying. And so I don't know.
I want to make something clear. I know there's a lot of XRP fans in here, but to the XRP haters, you should all be thanking Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple for spending the hundreds of millions of dollars to not just fight for XRP and Ripple, but to fight for our entire industry, because that is essentially what they're doing. In my opinion, when they win this case, this will serve as the landmark digital asset security as a commodity case in the United States for years to come. I cannot understate how important this case is, not just to XRP, but for the entire crypto industry as a whole. Even if you hate XRP, if you hate the coin, you say it's a banker's coin, whatever else you say, you should be at least rooting for them to win. Because if they win, that'll bring the clarity that is much needed in this country, in the United States. And if they lose, well, we don't want to talk about what that means.
All right.
Guys, we are done. We just wanted to say again, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here. You know, Ben's got some big shoes to fill. This entire operation is massive. It's amazing. And I know a lot of you come to this channel to watch Ben and DZ and everyone else, and it might have been a little shock to you to see us. But the alternative was to not have any live shows throughout the week. And we figured we'd give you some content to look to. And so we appreciate you guys listening. We hope you enjoy the content. Your OG team will be back on Monday. To everyone here at Hit Network, been absolutely amazing, hospitable. It's been such a great time. We've had an amazing time. We are excited to get back to Vegas, to get back to our daily grind. And so on behalf of myself, Robin, and our business partner and producer, Rocco, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for putting up with us. And thank you to everyone here at Hit Network and BitSquad. And to Ben and TJ, thank you for trusting us with your channel for one whole week. Love us or hate us, we still love you guys. We are in the space together for the same reason. We want to see crypto flourish. And so we're excited. We're going to be doing the drawing on Blockchain Basement and our live show here in about an hour. So make sure to come check that out.
Yeah.
And,
Well said. I got nothing else to add on there except hola.
Got it.
We're out.